This weekend in Sofia, there was a jazz festival being held, so I headed there after work with my friends. The next day, I decided to do a solo exploration of the city center of Sofia. I started with a free city tour and, of course, lots of pictures. That night, I headed to the jazz festival again, this time alone. I love having a group of people to hang out with all the time, but I'm very much an introvert. It's so nice to share things with others in the moment, but there's something unbeatable about being by yourself, quietly noticing all the sounds and silences in between. Today, I felt as though my mind was unspooling, ready to weave a new story again. I woke up at 5:30 in the morning to get to the bus that would take me to the Rila 7 Lakes hike. There were 7 of us interns going. The cable car to the top would take half an hour, and as someone afraid of heights, I was apprehensive to say the least. But I soon forgot my fears. Just sitting in silence, no phone, the quiet hum of being in a glorified bench attached to a rope high up in the sky, with the world spread beneath me, both invincible and vulnerable. The first part of the hike was pretty steep uphill. I had a mantra of left, right, left, right. The views were worth it though, and the higher we climbed, the more beautiful it got. I couldn't tell if my breath catching was from the view or my unfitness. I broke away from the group a little to let this beauty wash over me. Stared at the clear water and the unmelted ice. How is it possible that I'm here? Being in nature is a bit like praying for me, a sense of moving beyond the self and expanding into a larger consciousness. A healing out of my head process. We took our lunch break at the top of the mountain. I sat as close to the edge of the cliff as I dared. Sat in the moment. At the end of the trip, one of the interns sat down and exclaimed, "Life." I felt that. Headed to the oldest continually inhabited city in Europe, one of its cultural capitals, Plovdiv. In a free city tour, I bumped into a fellow Singaporean. There's a certain thrill in recognizing a Singaporean overseas because of how distinct the accent is, something I unfortunately lack. It's a bit of an aha moment and the serendipity of meeting someone who comes from the same tiny dot on the other side of the world. We walked past the ruins of the old Roman forum and amphitheatre, partially excavated because most of it had a new city built over it. A H&M was built on top of ancient ruins and had transparent floors you could peer down into. Kapana was an area that had been burnt down and neglected during the communist era, only to be reinvigorated in recent years with new cafes and shops and street art. I think it's really cool to repurpose old places into new spaces. I wonder what the old and dead souls think about the alive and young. I'm now a bit more than halfway through my time in Bulgaria. I had no idea what it would be like when I came here, and it still amazes me how it all came together. The journey continues.